Did you know the global mobile application market is expected to grow to a whopping $407 billion by 2026? This is considerable growth, and it will be largely made up of software developers and testers. Undoubtedly, the mobile testing market will grow fastest to match expectations. Now, if you are looking to take advantage and fill these shoes, then it's vital to understand this role better, the skills needed, and a list of available jobs. But of course, they're going to ask you questions in your interview to determine just how much you know and how much you don't know. Now, if you want to stand out from the crowd, here is a list of 33 questions that these interviewers are likely to ask you and answers to each of these questions so you can be the star of the candidate pool. Let's dive in. Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Matt from testRigor. testRigor is an AI agent that lets you write test cases in plain English. With mobile applications becoming a core part of everyday life, efficient testing tools like testRigor are becoming increasingly important to keep up with demand. First, let us review the mobile testing interview questions for beginners. Here is the first question. Number 1. What is the difference between mobile testing and mobile application testing? Now, if you get asked this, consider explaining the answer to show that you've understood the concept. Also use examples or analogies to explain further. Here is the sample answer. Mobile device testing focuses on the device itself, such as its performance, durability, battery life, network connectivity, screen sensitivity, camera quality, audio quality, and other hardware features. Other physical attributes that you need to check are weight, size, screen resolution, memory capacity, processor performance, button functionality, and sensor accuracy. It is targeted at mobile device manufacturers and developers. Mobile application testing focuses on verifying mobile apps' functionality, usability, and consistency. This includes testing for app crashes, mobile device features like GPS, camera, etc., integration, and compatibility with different operating systems and device models. And we know that it is essential for mobile app developers and businesses. All right, let's jump to number 2. What are the different types of mobile applications? Now, the suggested approach for this answer is to mention the different types with examples. Let us look at a sample answer. There are 3 types of mobile applications. Native applications. They are developed specifically for a particular mobile operating system and written in languages that the platform accepts. For example, Swift and Objective-C, or iOS and Kotlin or Java, or for Android apps. The disadvantage of native applications is that if you want to build and maintain apps for both iOS and Android, you need to create 2 different apps in 2 different code bases. Now, web applications, they are websites optimized to look and feel like native apps. They are accessed through the mobile device's web browser using a URL. And they are easier to build and maintain than native apps since they use a common code base across multiple platforms. Their disadvantage is that they are typically slower than native apps and can't use device utilities. They also need an internet connection to work and can't utilize the device's hardware to the same extent as native apps. The last type is hybrid applications. They are both an amalgamation of both native and web applications. The application's core is written in web technologies such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which are then encapsulated within a native app. Developers can write code once and still accommodate multiple platforms. They have a disadvantage that they might be slower compared to native apps and might not have a smooth UI. All right, let's jump to the next question. Number 3, what are the different challenges that you have faced with mobile testing? Now, while thinking as a tester, also consider the end user's pain points. Mentioning those as well will show that you are a tester who thinks from the user's perspective. Here's a sample answer for you. These are common challenges that I can recall. Expansive device types, covering a vast spectrum of devices with different screen sizes, resolutions, hardware, OS, and processing. Thorough UI and UX testing. Test the app's good user experience across devices with different screen sizes, resolutions, and orientations. Finding performance issues, testing the app for performance such as load time, speed, responsiveness, etc. Managing security issues and breaches, handling sensitive user data, and maintaining security compliance is challenging. Getting approval. Sometimes the guidelines, requirements for App Store approval are challenging to fulfill. Integration testing. various hardware, software components like GPS, camera APIs, and third-party solutions are integrated with mobile. Thorough integration testing is challenging to complete in shorter sprints. Setting up automation testing. Creating automated tests that work across different devices and platforms is complex, costly, and requires many resources. Compliance requirements. Missing any legal and regulatory requirements specific to mobile apps during testing can result in legal action and losing users. Now, did we miss any of the challenges that you might face? If so, share your comments down below and let us know. And don't forget to like this video. We put a lot of work into helping you, so it shows us if this is something that's valuable to you. Now, let's get to the next question. Number 4, what is the difference between mobile testing and desktop testing? Here's our sample answer. Mobile testing deals with applications functioning correctly across a wide range of mobile devices with varying screen sizes, operating systems, and hardware configurations. It handles challenges unique to mobile devices such as network conditions, touch interfaces, and battery usage. On the other hand, desktop testing is generally more uniform, dealing with larger screens, more stable network connections, and higher processing ability. These applications run on a desktop computer or laptop and are installed locally rather than being accessed through a web browser or as a mobile app. Number 5. Name the mobile testing tools that you know about. Here's a tip. Mention the mobile testing tools you have worked on and have adequate knowledge of, since there may be more questions based on your answer. For details, read our article about the top 10 tools for mobile testing. The link is present in the video's description down below. Let's review the 6th question now. Why are emulators used in mobile testing? Here, try to explain emulators in a way that is not out of a textbook. Try to use simple language with a few crucial technical terms. Sample answer could be, they are software tools that mimic the hardware and software of mobile devices. They help testers simulate various devices and operating systems on their computers. This is particularly useful in the early stages of development and testing, since it enables quick and cost-effective testing without setting up physical devices. Emulators are ideal for initial functional and feature testing, as they can rapidly replicate different environments and conditions. However, they cannot entirely replace physical device testing. This is especially true for real-world user actions, interactions, battery usage, and device-specific hardware performance. All right, number 7. What are the differences between emulators and simulators? Now, while answering this question, pick a few points to differentiate between the two. You can use an analogy to show that you've understood how the two differ. All right, let's walk through this table comparing emulators and simulators to get a sense of what a sample answer might look like. So, starting with the definition, emulators mimic both the hardware and software of a mobile device, while simulators only mimic the software environment or operating system. Purpose-wise, emulators are great when you need to see how your app interacts with the actual device hardware. Simulators are more for checking the app's interface and basic features. Now, when it comes to speed, emulators are usually a bit slower since they're recreating hardware behavior, but simulators are faster because they skip that part and focus just on the software. For accuracy, emulators win if you need to test hardware-dependent stuff like camera or battery usage. Simulators aren't as precise there, but they work well for testing the UI and general app behavior. Looking at use cases, emulators are best for deeper testing, performance, integration, things like that, while simulators are better during early development when you're just testing features. And finally, resource usage. Emulators are heavier on your system since they simulate hardware, while simulators are lighter and less demanding. All right, let's get to the 8th question. Before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming stuff. Now, number 8, what is the importance of a test plan in mobile testing? While answering this question, explain quickly what test plans are and then hit on why they should be a part of your mobile testing strategy. If you've had a personal experience using them, add that as well. Here's a sample answer that you might use. The test plan is essential in mobile testing for the following reasons. Testing scope and objectives. This outlines what needs to be tested. Resource allocation, efficient use of resources across various testing environments For example, different devices or operating system versions, network conditions. Guide test approach establishes the methodology for testing, manual and automated testing, real devices, emulators, simulators, defines pass-fail criteria. This clearly defines the criteria for a passed or failed test. Monitors progress, helps monitor the testing process to stay within timelines and budgets. Identify risks, helps identify the potential risks and then plans good migration strategies. Achieves comprehensive coverage. All essential components of the mobile application are tested with good coverage. Okay, that covers 8 of the 33 questions we have prepared for you, but that was just the beginner portion. Next up, we have intermediate questions coming for you, so you can absolutely ace that interview. Those are going to be in the next video, so make sure you're subscribed so you get an alert when that comes out. Hit that little bell, that's going to notify you. That way you are all set. Also, once that video posts, if you are seeing this after that, look down in the description and there will be a link to that video there so you can make sure that you get all the questions you need for your interview coming up. Looking forward to seeing you there. Take care.